Next one is from. This is an interesting one. Jason Turpin. Subject's Nash throws Ray headfirst into a trailer. The most memorable Nitro from my childhood was the one from Orlando where the Outsiders launched an attack backstage with baseball bats, and Nash threw Ray headfirst into a trailer. Then the Macho Man came out of nowhere and jumped on top of their limo as it left. You get that clip, Joe? How dangerous was that bump that Ray took? If you were an agent, would you prove that? Also, Nash said Savage jumping in the limo was not scripted. Savage did it on his own. That move injected Macho Man into the main storyline going to the next week's show, and did top guys like Savage have free reign to go into business for themselves like that to create their own storyline? Thanks for Jason Turpin. Everything was a work. However, that incident, that specific spot we're watching here, tons of people like that they know wrestling's a work, they know it's fake, blah blah. But bro, they thought this was real stuff, and it was sold as like a lot of. This was a very important scene. And selling the NWO angle to people like this was really a takeover. That like this was real, like you know. So play this because this was actually really good television.
Howard jerk. That's Marcus Bagwell. Hey, wait a minute! Everybody's left the ring here, and
who's the Nash walk?
He dove off. That's Rey Mysterio. There's the Cruiserweight Champion, Rey Mysterio. Oh, no! Oh, head first into the trailer in the back. He threw him like he was a dart. Arn Anderson, the first man we saw down. All 6 wrestlers have left the ring. This match is going to be a double countout. What match? The Macho Man. The Macho Man is on the limousine, trying to get the sunroof. Oh, my God. I don't know if we can. The Macho Man is grabbing through the limousine. I told you he's nuts. And people are standing here.
So that was like, look at the people.
TV.
Like they think it is. They think what the f- is going on here? Because like this, bro, you understand? A wrestling show is like the ring, you know. But this was like a backstage attack that they were showing on camera. People thought it was real. Actually, I think people that were watching the show called the local police.
Right.
They did.
Like,
they did.
Yeah. Right. That's crazy, huh? So yeah, that was definitely a very important scene right there, you know.
But what did you think about Ray taking that bump? To me, it looked like Nash did the very best he could. Yeah.
Of course he did.
No, that's a very good bump, and it was actually because I remember I was there helping them put that together. You know, the stuff with Ray, and he just told Ray, "Hey, what if I were to throw you into the trailer?" And he goes, yeah. And then he goes, what if I were to jump off this thing and you catch me and throw it? I go, oh. But yeah, Ray took a good bump. It looked worse than it was. Nobody had ever seen remember way back in the day how cool it looked when Arn Anderson and I forgot who it was were like in a junkyard and doing that promo, and then they went into the parking lot and beat somebody.
The gas station. They beat up like Eric Watts at a gas station.
That was one, and one before that, they tied up Dusty and broke his arm, right?
Right.
In the gas station.
Right, but how great did that look? Because it was outside of the ring. You were like, what's going on here, you know? And that was kind of the same premise, you know?
Right. Next is from Wayne Grolfine. The subject is Lesnar hates Wyatt. I was reading an article recently about WrestleMania's lost matches and why they didn't happen. They mentioned that Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt was not only planned for WrestleMania 39, but also for WrestleMania 32. But Brock shut the bolt down, even though there was an angle to set up Wyatt versus Lesnar for WrestleMania 32 when the Wyatt family jumped Brock Lesnar during the Royal Rumble. What I'm willing to ask, with your backstage contacts, if you heard anything at all on when Brock Lesnar's real life problem with Bray Wyatt is. I don't think a Wyatt versus Lesnar match would exactly be a 30-minute classic, but at the same time, those are 2 big names, and it would get people watching. Hopefully you guys know something about this. If not, can you speculate? I have no clue what the issue Brock Lesnar has with Bray Wyatt.
I'd speculate that it doesn't make sense to me because Bray's whole thing at that time was intimidation and all that. Remember Rollins had to act all terrified. And what are you going to do with Brock? Why would Brock be scared of anyone? You know, I just don't see it as meshing well. But that's just me.
Any comment, Conan?
Yeah, I would agree with Joe.
Next is from Daniel French. Subject is next move. Now that Ronda Rousey's done with WWE and it's official because her stuff has been taken down from the merch store, I have to ask, what do you think of the realistic chance of her turn up in AEW? Recently, even the biggest Mark Dirt Sheet writers have been talking about how AEW has the worst female division possible of all time. So Tony Khan will buckle to the ICWC pressure and start trying to make random marks who he's never met like him again. Plus, Britt Breakers run out of opponents to completely ruin at rapid speed. K100, what do you think? I mean, they could use Ronda Rousey there. You know, I mean, they could use her. I mean, like they said, there's not a lot of top talent in the women's division.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
do you think that she would? What was the question? Do you think she would go? Or what was the question?
Would they use her? I think.
Well,
was
of
a
course they'll use her. Of course they'll
Right.
use her. I don't think she would leave because she left on her own volition. So she wants to, some me time, some kid. Doesn't she have a kid?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe she wants to spend some time with the kid, with her husband, with her family, whatever, bro. This is very mentally challenging. That's why you wonder why wrestlers are so wild, because doing this the whole year can get to you. And she probably doesn't want to be there the whole year and travel the whole year and sees how they party, especially the young guys and girls, and that's not for her anymore. You know what I'm saying? And so she left. I don't think she's going to come somewhere. She's well paid. She does everything she wants, anything she wants to do, sells her merch, and her best friend is her, Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she wouldn't. I just doubt she would.
It
for the
says here
reasons I just gave.
her next big project is her second book, which will be out in April. So maybe I can imagine her being on something to promote that. I don't know if it'll be wrestling TV, but
Yeah,
and there's been
of course.
UFC return rumors, but nothing substantiated.
What?
Ariel
How old
Helwani
is she
has
now?
said she's probably like 35. Let me find out. But yeah, Ariel Helwani said no
I'll
truth
look.
to it. Cormier said he doesn't see it, but there is rumors.
Next
Whether
is from
that's-
David.
Might
Next
be
is from
wishful
David.
thinking.
Next is from David Benson. The subject is rebooking Tribal Combat. Dear K100 crew, I wanted your take on how you would have how the Roman J match from SummerSlam match would actually come off as tribal. Besides what was at stake, it seemed like the match didn't really live up to the gimmick name. Should Jay have come out with war paint and did his tribal entrance from his early tag days? Would you have had family like Rikishi ringside? For a great match, it completely didn't live up to its match name. Disco, did they do a gimmick night of Sapphires? Thinking of a spring break trip next year. Thanks for taking my questions. As David from Sacramento.
And she's 36.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I thought they should have come out with tribal war paint on. That would have been a good little touch, I think. Go ahead. We don't do theme nights, by the way. Just you can come in any night. Go ahead.
Right. Even though you could pass Disco a couple gimmicks, halcyons, nothing. You want a bomber? Disco.
Next is some Roger Bomber.
You want a bomber?
Next is some Roger Huffman. The subject is Lance Storm and Vince Russo. Good evening, K-Dog and the Superior One. I was wondering why Lance Storm was even on the latest Dark Side of the Ring Bash of the Beach episode. He had nothing to do with what went down. Why does Lance have so much venom towards Vince Russo? No one booked Lance stronger than Russo. Thanks, guys. That's Roger from Monroe, Georgia. Lance is...
Continue, Disco. Anybody that refers to you, and I can see emails coming forth, you will get the following. He refers to Disco as the Superior One.
Right.
All right. Continue.
What's wrong? Why is it wrong? I am superior.
You're not the superior one. You're the inferior one. But anyways, continue.
Yeah, Lance is Lance's criticism of Vince is like, he this is the funniest thing. Okay, Lance Storm one time had his blog, and he's always been an anti-Russo guy, even though Vince, he's never been booked stronger. When we were booking with Vince, me, him, and Ed, we gave him we gave him 3 belts, right? Yeah. He's literally never been booked stronger than that. That's his. No. So his best booking occurred under Vince Russo, but he does have his venom towards Vince, right? But the funny thing was when we did that thing in TNA, and when Shark Boy was turning into Stone Cold Shark Boy, right? We had these vignettes, and they were corny, but they were funny, right? Lance said that he was never going to watch that show again, like on his blog, that was the worst thing he'd ever seen. Why would they do that? It was horrible stuff. But the funny thing about it is in that 3 minutes of TV time that they put towards those vignettes where we turned him into Stone Cold Shark Boy. Shark Boy started getting literally the loudest pops at the house shows, and he became the #1 merch seller. All right. And Lance Storm buried that, and so this was hard, and he literally buried a spot that they did in 3 minutes. They turned the guy one of the most over guys in the company. So that just shows you that Lance Storm has never really had any clue, how to write, like what goes into writing a wrestling show when you're trying to get numbers. And like everything he's ever said, it's kind of like you can get that out of him because he just, he's very bland. I don't know. He's got a weird flex on this business, and he's always been a dirt. He's been a Dave Meltzer guy for years. Like he was one of those guys that was like doing, like he's on their like he does shows with them. Like he was doing shows with Dave for years, so he's always been like kind of like the anti-Vince clique. So whatever. But I mean,
and remember, Di, that after he went to WWE, at first they used him all right. He was the serious Canadian, but after that, his gimmick was that he was boring. That was his gimmick.
Right.
Austin made fun of him and fell asleep during his match, and then they had him come out and do the Cabbage Patch and dance. How is that not worse than WCW? Why would you be so mad at WCW where you were pushed? I agree.
Right.
I think maybe, and I've never talked to him about this, is that at that time, and you're right, he was probably never booked stronger than when Vince booked him. He was getting over, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And Nash took that away in one night. And I always thought, whose idea was that? Yours or Russo's or Eric's?
I don't even remember.
Bro, you were on the booking committee. How could you not remember something that big?
Storm went undefeated.
What was so big? Sorry, like
the guy that you guys were pushing, who was getting over, got beat by Nash for no reason.
I don't think he got beat.
Nash laid him out. Nash laid him out with a powerbomb. Right.
Nash laid him out with a powerbomb.
But at that point, he was the undefeated 30-belt champion.
Okay, wait. How did that help him?
Well, it didn't help him, but it helped Nash. Nash was doing that to everybody.
But Nash didn't need to do that to him. He could have done it to a million other guys.
It was one show. He did to everybody's one spot. He did. It didn't
to a guy that's
his career or something like that.
To a guy that's did, because from there he was not booked the same. Yeah. He wasn't over like he was.
Okay, well, what do you want to say? The guy's a mid-card guy his whole career. Okay.
No. Okay, then why were you pushing him? Why did you put 3 belts on him if he's a mid-card guy that sucks?
Because he was getting over, and then he reached a point. Like I don't,
So you just stopped power bombing him just to keep getting Nash over.
I don't remember this, Conan.
5 other guys in a row. Okay, but whatever. We'll disagree.
I'm not disagreeing. Right. I don't remember this as such a big significant thing like other people do. I just don't remember the spot. It was one
so I'm
spot.
Not the first person that's told you this.
No, I was in that company for 7 years. You asked me for one spot on one show and asked me to strap. I don't remember it. Okay, it's like I don't remember everything that happened. Like that's all I'm saying.
Neither do I, but I would think you would remember that. But anyway, because the guy was getting over, you guys pushed
where Nash was coming out. And he was like power bot, like he was like the not 911, but similar. Like he was coming down the ring.
I know exactly what he was doing.
Right.
All I'm saying is, if I'm pushing somebody, I'm writing for him, and I'm giving him 3 belts, and he's getting over. There's no way nobody is going to go into the ring and cut off that ascension power bombing just to get over another guy when he could do it to somebody else, or he could even do 3 guys.
Like I said, I don't remember exactly.
A lot of Okay, I'm just telling you.
Where the arc of that angle was. I don't remember what spot this was when we get. I don't even know if he had all 3 belts. Like I said, I just don't remember this. I just do remember.
Right. I do remember he was hot.
Yeah, but Nash is a main eventer. Is what
I know
I'm
he is.
Like,
this is not. I'm not saying Nash shouldn't be pushed because he was the man at that time. Look how cool he looked when him and Scott were walking out of the coolness factor is ridiculous.
Right.
Like they were just so cool about everything. They weren't running. They were just
try and go back and find that, like maybe reports and stuff, and see where we were storyline wise, and like what was going on like the week before, the week after that, and stuff, and everything, just the basic stuff.
Because I may be wrong.
Like I said, this is it. I don't remember it. So.
The only thing I remember is he was hot, he was getting over, and then after that power bomb, he was done.
I don't think he was done, but maybe that wasn't the best spot for him. So
not done, but did not hurt. Did not help.
Right.